Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and I've got a birthday celebration for Philip Glass, January 31st, 2025. He's 88. So happy birthday, Philip Glass, and thank you. I want to take a look at a piece, an early piece from 1966, Wichita Vortex Sutra. I love saying that name. It's got a lot of interesting things in it. It's like the fantasy that we looked at the beginning of the week, the Mozart fantasy. So let's dive in. Well, that Mozart fantasy is in D minor. Wichita Vortex Sutra is in F. It shares a key signature. And there's a lot of things in common, the sort of freely mobile structural elements in the Mozart. Like, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do this. Sort of shows up here as well. And yet they're also uniformly sort of held together by a couple of strong musical ideas. We see that in the Glass as well. This is from an Allen Ginsberg poem of the same name. And apparently Glass accidentally ran into Ginsberg in a bookshop on St. Mark's Place in New York, 1966. There was a reading going on. Can you write me a piece of music to accompany? Sure, I'd be happy to. It sort of laid the foundation for later work that they did together. Well, it's an interesting piece of music because it has strange and strongly chromatic elements. It begins in F rather delicately and kind of beautifully, sort of a statement of the theme. This is something you see in Glass a lot. He lets you know where we're going to live. And where we're going to live is F, A minor, this B flat 7 with a chromatic feel, right? So pretty. Here's our B flat, more chromaticism, and then a little pulse, just to get us going. Just so that in case you didn't know, more Fs on top, right? He's really just kind of letting us know where we are in the first page, and it's gentle. But as we go on, things get a little more energetic. We have the same chord progression. First measures the F, then the A minor over E in the bass. I like that. Here's a B flat, an inverted B flat, and then this interesting moment, the E and the A7 back to F. And with the pulsing left hand, it's a much stronger feeling. See what I'm saying? Okay, now we're going to go to a low B flat. And this is interesting to me. Low B, this is measure 26, bottom, second line from the bottom. This is so strong, right? I don't know how to explain that. That's B flat, and then an A triad, A7 really, but a B in the bass. My computer is fuddled by that. All right, let's go on to the next page. And now, second endings, there's a lot of repeats in Glass, but going on to the next page, at this next section, we've got a classic pulsing sort of syncopation. And this is something we see from Glass a lot. This rhythm where we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that's like that. It's upbeats. The upbeats are so much fun. And we're going to just kind of pulse away in the left hand. And those upbeats together with that, it's energetic. And I love this moment. This is a strongly dissonant chord. It's definitely a version of A7. It's A7, flat 9, sharp 9. So cool. Remember that A7 we had before? We're primed to hear that as an A7, but man, that's a beautiful sound. Jazz chord for sure. Boom. There's a little grace note. The E up to the F. So much fun. Okay, let's go on. Well, on the page before, we had more of this kind of thing. And now we have right at the top of the page quarter note triplets against that perseverating pulse. So we have and they almost sound the same. And at speed, it's a very interesting effect. So first the page before it was an F, an E, and then, right? That's so much fun. The da 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 da. Oh, that's a blast. After the low F, we're going to continue, and now a fully inverted B flat, and we'll get a chance to do that B flat, and then the B in the bass with the A chord. And it's a little easier to, I think, hear with the B being higher like that, but it's still a very strongly dissonant sound, very chromatic. Wow, right? It's just strong. Bottom of the page. And at the bottom of the page here, this kind of beautiful F inversion, then I guess we'd have to look at that as a kind of an A, C sharp in the bass. My computer is completely fuddled by this, but this is A augmented and then A7. That at least it recognized. So going on, the open right hand persists, and you can see the open F chord, the A7, back to F, and then this gorgeous sharp 9, flat 9 sound. All right, now we've got a brand new section. There's actually a couple of breath marks. We go from 4/4 to 3/4 and even faster. And he wants us to just go into this faster arpeggiated feeling. So that's a lot of F-ish, right? A lot of F notes. Right. So 1E enda, 2E enda, 3E enda, right? And 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And I think that he wants it faster than that. Can I do it? Well, I can do it, but I don't know if I can change chords with it. Let's try to get that up to speed. That's fun, right? All right, there's more of the same, and it gets a little bit rangy in a great way. Top of the page, there's that F sound that we've seen before, and now the B flat A thing. So this is a very dark sound. And then this B in the bass, that's obviously a diminished sound. You hear it? And then the D flat major sound with the B in the bass. Now it really is sort of revealed as D flat 7, isn't it? You hear that? Up here it's very rangy, but which takes us back to F. Interesting. That's actually, that sort of tests our D flat 7 to F, D flat 7 to F. That's a very filled glass chord progression, isn't it? All right, what happens at the bottom of the page? More of the same. There's our second ending. And now we're back to our little propulsive thing. And then our favorite chord. And now we have to look at this again. I'd said it was an A7 sharp 9 flat 9. And now I'm going to ask myself if it's an A7 or if it's a version of the D flat. All right, this is so interesting. All right, the ambiguity is just, I think, one of the things that makes it interesting. I think we're on the last page now, pretty much. Yeah, and as we go to the last page, we have a recapitulation. We go back to our original theme. Well, I definitely did some violence to that interpretation-wise because I didn't really practice it very well before we got into this. But I'm fascinated by Wichita Vortex Sutra. In the early 90s, I hadn't really played much of Glass's music, although I'd heard some things. And Liquid Days came out, which is almost a pop album. And I started looking for his sheet music at the Newton Public Library. I found this and maybe Mad Rush, had him at home for a couple of months, just kind of like chipping away at it, trying to understand it. Glass's use of chromaticism here is very interesting. And it's not typical tonic dominant types of chromaticism. He's using tension notes in, these unusual ambiguous chords to create places where we feel a little unbalanced and then kind of sit back. The Ginsberg poem is an anti-war poem. Of course, you can imagine 66, how that was, and Ginsberg's just general space in general, how he was as a poet and as a person. And I think this piece kind of like pulls together some of those ideas in musical form. Fascinating. Well, happy birthday, Philip Glass, 88 years old and still going strong. I hope this has been useful. So like and subscribe and ding the bell to be notified when I do my videos. I'll see you next time.